Barton, and I'm the program manager of the Center for Creativity, and we're so happy that you are here for I Can't Sign with the Center for Individuals with Physical Challenges, or for short, the Center. And we have Diana Emerson, who's here today. She has been a champion for communication for people who are deaf or hard of hearing for over 35 years. Yeah. And so she's just freaking awesome, and she's nationally certified interpreter. Yeah, she knows her stuff, went to TU, and she's going to teach us some signs that we could use maybe if we run into someone who is deaf or hard of hearing at the grocery store, or maybe we have someone in our lives who is deaf or hard of hearing. And we want to communicate better with them. So anyway, I'm just really happy to welcome her. Hi, Diana.
Thank you. Well, thank you all for being here this morning. And please feel free to move on up. Part of the fun of these things is meeting other people. There's a gentleman I think is going to have to go down there. My name is Diana Emerson, and I have, as she said, worked for 35 years in the deaf community. I appreciate the freaking awesome, but I will say that people who are deaf, I am in awe of the way that they make this language come alive. So today my goal is to just get you curious. I hope that you will learn a little bit about the language, because for me, I moved to Tulsa many, many years ago to attend TU, happened to room with an interpreter in a suite. And because of her and all my suite mates taking sign language because of her, I was the lone freshman that didn't know what they were talking about, promptly had to sign up and find out what they were talking about. And when I discovered the language, I just fell in love with the language. And here I am all these years later doing something I did not even know existed when I arrived in Tulsa. And I just used a sign that I think is really cool. I fell in love with the language. Everybody try that. If you are right-handed, your right hand gets up and gets ready. If you are left-handed, your left hand will do the action. Do we have lefties? You have one? Okay, so you just flip whatever I do. Okay, so your one hand on your active hand, which I am right, is going to just your nose. You fell in love. Your nose hit the pavement and skidded. Isn't that the most fun sign? I just fell in love with the language. So today, I can go wherever you want me to go. As she said, I've done this for a little bit, so you have cards in front of you, and I would like you to write if there's something specific you want to make sure I cover. Otherwise, I thought I would start by just letting you know that this language is often said to be the third most common language in the U.S., so you should have an opportunity to use it, perhaps more than your French or whatever you might have taken in high school. And I also think that even if you never have the good fortune to meet someone who's deaf or hard of hearing, which probably you will, you can also use it with your family and your friends. How wonderful it is to be able to tell your kids to be quiet in the middle of church, right? Go and to let them know what's going to happen without a sound. We're going to start out by letting you experience a little bit of a hearing loss. So take that paper with that really odd picture in front of you, flip it over, and just write 1 through 10 down the left-hand side of that paper. There should be some pens, some writing implements. I don't promise they actually write, but something hopefully on the table will work. Write 1 through 10 down the left-hand side. And I'm going to play for you on my super high-tech device here 10 words. And I want you to write down what you think you hear, okay? I'm going to try to get this by my microphone.
Number 1, fill.
Your best guess. Just write it down.
Number 2, catch. Number 3, thumb. Number 4, keep. Number 5, rise. Number 6, wedge. Number 7, fish. Number 8, shows. Number 9, bed. Number 10, juice.
Okay, how many of you think you got all of those exactly correct? Did you get the same thing your neighbor got? All right, I'm going to play it again, and I will tell you the answers. I will not even count off for spelling, even though I was a spelling teacher at one time. So let's see if we can get it to play again. I don't have them memorized, but when I hear it.
Ready?
Number 1, fill.
Fill the cup.
Number 2, catch.
Catch the ball.
Number 3, thumb.
Thumb.
Number 4, heap.
A heap of dirty laundry.
Number 5, round.
A wise old owl.
Number 6, wedge.
A wedge under a door.
Number 7, fish.
Fish.
Number 8, stone.
He shows the movie.
Number 9, bed.
Bed.
Number 10, juice.
Juice, like orange juice. Okay, how many of you got all 10? Dang it. How many of you got 1? Woohoo! How many of you got 2? Woohoo! 3? More? Okay, so if you got 2 out of 10, did you just pass this spelling test? No, you bombed, right? What do you think the point of this exercise is? And I hope the people that are watching from home streaming were able to grab a piece of paper and play along with us. What do you think the point of this was? Help you identify and understand what people are going through. I think that when I started working with deaf and hard of hearing people, or back when I was a kid, I always thought, oh, if you were hard of hearing, it just meant everything was softer. So if I yell at you, you'll be fine, right? Wrong. This really helped me understand. I can make this louder all day long, but it doesn't make it more clear. And that's the problem for people who are hard of hearing, is some sounds may not be coming through anymore, but other sounds still are. Often people, as we age, look out, guys, 1 in every 3 of us at 65 and over, so start counting, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, will have a hearing problem, and often we lose the high pitches like S and F, so like fish, things like that. But you may still hear the lower pitches like the vowels just fine. So just yelling at people doesn't work very well, okay? But I wanted to start with that just to help you understand why visual language is often something that's very helpful for people who are deaf or hard of hearing. Even if perhaps you have someone losing hearing later in life, if all you ever learn with your spouse is to go, it's time to eat, that might be helpful. Instead of having to walk across the room and yell in their ear, you can use some simple signs that might help things flow more smoothly. But for people who truly get into this language, I have to connect to the plant people. It is beautiful and expressive and visual. So since you just learned about plants, some of you just arrived, let's learn a few plant signs. And for tree, you're going to take your dominant hand, I'm right-handed, and plant your tree on the ground. And then here's all those branches and the leaves. So you can tell an entire story with a sign. You can say, so could you kind of see what happened? What did you understand happened in that exchange? Can I pick on you? She says, I have no idea. I told you, I am not nearly as good as deaf individuals at this, but yes, so we had the tree that grew, and then we had it swaying in the wind, and then we had kind of a tornado or something. That was really strong wind that happened, and then it reestablished itself. So all of that is done with this one sign, which is why it's very important for you to remember that signs, and I'm talking about American Sign Language here. I don't know French Sign Language. I don't know Spanish Sign Language. And every country has their own. People often assume, and I don't know exactly why, that sign language is universal. It's not. Just as the spoken languages grew up separated from one another, so did the signed languages grow up separated from one another. And so you have some very interesting stories about misunderstandings. For example, okay, everybody get your A hand shape. This is your letter A. You may have an alphabet card in front of you. If you don't, please let me know. Did we get them back there? All right. You guys all have one? There you go. Your A hand shape. And if you tap your cheek with that, we had deaf people here that were going to Russia for a mission trip. So they learned some Russian Sign Language. And this is the sign for Moscow in Russian Sign Language. However, in American Sign Language, it is your menstrual period. So, so there could be a little bit of confusion going on there. And that is why it has been a challenge for some deaf people who move here from another country, because we don't have any Russian Sign Language interpreters here in Tulsa. And so they just have to immerse themselves and learn new languages. They become kind of quadrilingual. They have like Russian and Russian Sign Language, and then English and American Sign Language. But so all of that is important to remember once again, that signs do not stand for English words. They stand for concepts. So let's look at a word, an English word that has a ton of concepts. I heard one time that the word run has 50 different entries in the dictionary. So somebody at this table, give me a sentence with the word run in it. And everybody else be thinking of many different meanings. Yeah, okay, like I'm gonna run to the store. We sign that, get your L hand shapes, hook your dominant hand, mine is my right, yours is your left, to the back. Yes, okay, and we're gonna run. I always think of the road runner leaving puffs of smoke. I will tell you really stupid ways that I remember the signs, all right? So you're running to the store or wherever. Okay, can this table give me a sentence with a different meaning? I what? I run out of money. Ooh, that's a good one. People don't usually give me that one. I have run out. You didn't run anywhere, right? But I've run out of money. I had it and it's gone. I ran out of money. Okay, how about this table? Another different meaning. Yes, the water was not running anywhere, and it wasn't running out. The water was probably in a faucet and running. Your forehand shape at the end of the faucet is just running. Now again, we can show that it was running or it was and that's the wonderful thing about ASL. Your face is an incredibly important part of the grammar. Means it was running a whole lot, okay? It was pouring out. Puffed cheeks means a lot, okay? So running. This table, another sentence with run. Oh my gosh, wow, you guys are creative today. Give me a rundown. I'm assuming that means catch me up, give me what's happening. So give me a rundown. inform me. My dominant hand is at my head where my information is. My passive arm is lazy and doesn't want to have to pick itself up that far. So inform me. I would say inform you, but in this case, I want you to inform me. So we're taking that information and sending it back to ourselves. Keep it closed and open it up back to yourself. Out and back. Inform me. Give me the rundown. Exactly. So slang for an interpreter like myself, when somebody says a sentence like that, I have to go, okay, what does that mean? I can't say, give me the rundown. That is the wrong concept, okay? So I'm having to think, okay, give me the rundown. Give me the rundown. Okay. Excellent. Boy, you guys are good. Another sentence with a different meaning? My wife had a run in her pantyhose. Your pantyhose are not running. Your pantyhose aren't running. They aren't running out. And they aren't informing anybody of anything, all right? Your pantyhose are going to have a run. And I hope you're all copying me on all these. Because we want you to have that muscle memory, right? Your pantyhose have a run. You can even show where in ASL. You know, run. So you can show where even that run might have happened. And the last and most challenged table, because they took all the easy ones, right? Run.
Run a company?
Okay. Going with that? All right. Run a company. The company's not running. It's not running. It's not running, that's for sure. Okay, so you are running a company. You have the reins. You are managing the company. It's like you have reins of a horse and you're controlling it. You're managing it. You are running a company. Yeah. You manage children. She's trying to manage children, right? Yeah. My husband's at home with two of them today. I escaped and came here. The grandkids are there. So it's such a challenge, but I find that just so stimulating to think of what is the meaning. It makes you think more about your own language, English. What do we mean? What are we saying? We can run for political office. You're competing. I'm ahead. You're ahead. Okay, we're running, competing for office. What else? Your nose doesn't run, and your nose doesn't run, but your nose does kind of run. So there again, it's dripping. Or it might run. You can be very specific and very visual with what is meant, which is why children can typically learn to sign before they can learn to speak. You can start signing with babies about 6 months old. As soon as they can make that eye contact with you, you can start to sign. And they can control their hands before they can control their tongues. Now, you'll get baby sign. It won't be right, just like you get, da, 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 da instead of father, dear. You're going to get, sometimes you'll get this instead of father. Okay, or dad. Everybody try that. Your 5-hand shape. It's on your forehead. Father. This is also then dad, papa, any father concept. This is how you sign it. In ASL, we say that the top half of the face often has the male signs because the sign for boy or male, think of that ball cap right there in the brim of it, okay? So you're thinking of a hat brim for a male or a boy. And for a female or girl, you trace your thumb down the line of your jaw, and that I think of the old bonnet strings back in the day. So you had a bonnet string for the girl. Now in another country, they signed these totally differently. They had different concepts of male and female.
So right away, I'm thinking, what's the sign for non-binary?
And these are things, I don't know one for that exact word yet, but that's a very good point. ASL is a living language, and so as new words are developed, new signs have to be developed as well. A good example is 5 years ago, none of us had ever heard of the word COVID, right? But very quickly after the pandemic hit, we had to figure out what's a sign for that? Because that's all anyone was talking about in the news every day. And so we would see, now that everybody's connected around the nation, it kind of helps. We would see some things online and people went, yes, that. So here's the sign for COVID. Your non-dominant hand has a fist, okay? The top part facing you. And your other hand starts in an S, a fist hand shape, and it swirls to this. It opens to this, okay? I hope I'm not making that more complicated than I needed it to be. You just go from S to a 5 or whatever. Now, why do you think this would have been the sign for COVID? Did anybody remember seeing those pictures of the COVID gene on the news? The little spikies. Yeah, and COVID meant, coronavirus meant like a crown, right? So this looks like a crown. So this sign quickly spread around the U.S., and we all sign COVID. COVID, yeah. So.
Could you speak a little bit to that the signs aren't developed by interpreters and hearing people, they come from the deaf community?
Correct. Kay and I have worked together in this field, and she reminds me to share that signs should not be developed by hearing people or interpreters like myself. They need to come from the deaf community themselves. The deaf community sees themselves not as a disability group, but as a linguistic minority group. They share a language, which means they share a culture, they share norms, and they treasure their language. So they do not see themselves as limited. They see themselves as a linguistic minority that we hearing people have a challenge with because we don't know their language. So it's very important to understand that perspective, that they do not see the disability, they see the minority group status. And yet they are a protected class under the Americans with Disabilities Act. So you do, if you are a business or whatever, you are required to provide accessibility. Just as you had to build a ramp out here to be accessible for people in wheelchairs, you might have to provide a sign language interpreter at your place of business in order to provide that equal access that all people deserve. All right, so I'm just hopping all over the place, but we're going to play with this picture I put in front of all of you. This really goofy picture. Is that one mine? Good. I wanted to make sure. You wrote on the back of it a moment ago. Turn it back over. I think we're going to learn these words, and I'm so sorry for the people at home. You can just learn the words without having this goofy picture in front of you. And then we're going to kind of play a game at the end. All right, we've already learned some of the signs that are on this picture. Look at us. We're just cooking. We know tree. Everybody do tree again. Tree, or if it's moving a little bit, tree. We said father. There's a father in this picture. We started to go to mother. You take that same sign down to the girl half of your face, the female half of your face, and now this is mother. So we have father and mother, or papa and mama, or mom or mommy, or any of those English words. You're all going to sign the same way. Same concept means the same sign, okay? We also in here have, I think, there might be a grandpa back in the back with some fish. so let's try grandpa. You may see grandpa. It's like a father a generation out. Grandpa, you might see grandpa, but then you got to pick up both your hands. Human beings tend to go for the least amount of work, so you might see this is a father's, now this can be your mother's father too. It just means a father a generation out, okay? Grandfather or grandmother, grandmother, okay? So there's a little bounce there for a generation and a generation. And then we have a daughter and a son. So we have the girl, baby. The girl baby is the daughter. And we just do. You get to where, okay, in English we don't say, I do not want to go, right? We say, I don't want to. Again, humans, I think, are inherently going to go for the least work. So we do the same thing in sign language. It's a living language, right? So instead of signing girl, baby, we're just going to do daughter. We're going to take that A hand shape and put it down. Daughter. We're going to take, instead of boy or male, baby, we're going to just take that A hand shape down. Son. Son. Holler at me if I need to rotate a different way so you can see. Okay, so quiz time, refreshing. Everything we've done so far, we have tree, father or dad, mother, mom. We have grandpa, grandma. We have son and daughter. So the A hand shape, son and daughter. Questions? I like questions. It means you have not fallen asleep on me yet. Yes, thank you. Okay, that's another sign you would add. But a really good question that leads into is pronouns in American Sign Language. Instead of he, she, they, whatever, we generally will point. So if I say, who's this? That's my mother. Okay, so she, I'm picking on her. She, now I can just point. She said, she's however old. Are you telling how old you are? She's age. Yay! So you would say, this is my daughter here, age 18 or whatever. And if she's not present, you would say, my daughter, and you can place her. So ASL uses placement of people, and it's a wonderful visual thing because you say, everybody voice for me. So this is my daughter. This is my mother. Now, I can act out a whole conversation. So we got grandma and granddaughter here, right? I can do this. Where'd you go? Who's saying that? I'm in grandma's position now. Oh, where? I stayed home. Really? Okay. And all I have to do is this body shift, as we call it. And now you see the whole conversation unfold in front of your eyes. And it's so clear. You also will see eye gaze, like for grandma down to a child, for example, if that daughter is little. Where's the candy? But I'm looking down now because she's a small child. If I were the child having the conversation with grandma, I don't know. Really? Okay. So it's such a rich visual story you can tell by using these techniques like body shifting, eye gaze up or down. And it's like you were there. It's like you were there for the conversation. I think there was another hand when you asked about the daughter. I saw another hand in here somewhere. Did you have a question also, or somebody here? Forgot now? Yeah, I do that too. All right, so we're back to our page where we were reviewing grandpa and grandma and mom, and we got, what was this? Daughter. Son, Daughter. Okay, we ready for a new sign? I think we have some animals here, don't we? What do you think this one is? This is monkey. Everybody do that. Monkey. They're a lot more fun if you do it too, right? Monkey. Okay, so you've got a monkey on your page. What other animals do you see? Elephant. Okay, put your B hand shape here up by your nose and make your trunk. Elephant. Elephant. Now, again, I've been told that different countries have different signs. Like here in America, our sign for a giraffe, you have your C hand shape. Sorry, it's not on your paper. But this is our sign for giraffe. Why do you think? Long neck, because we always see them in the zoo. But someone who had been to Africa told me that their sign, and I don't even know it, but it was more like the walking across the grasslands. So they see giraffes very differently in their culture because they're out there walking across the grasslands. But here we see them as having a really long neck at the zoo. So the signs are different. All right, what's another animal? I saw you had one over here. Which is that? Alligator. He's got teeth down there, by the way, on the end. Alligator or crocodile. Very long nose and teeth at the end. All right. What other animal? Fish. Oh, yeah, there is a fish in there. You will see, sometimes you'll see the other hand here. I honestly don't quite know why. Or fish. Looks like a fish, doesn't it? Moving through the water. Fish. Fish. Okay. Pardon? Is it a tiger or is it a lion? I think it's a lion. Let's go with lion. Get your claw, and roar. You comb your mane. All right. Lion. You're going to comb your mane. Lion. What else? We do have Snoopy. I guess we'll call him a dog. I always tell kids you can pretend you're in church. You can do this without any noise. Before the whole room is, So, dog. And what else? There's a little lion. Yeah, there's a cat. Take your F hand shapes, stroke your whiskers. See how it makes whiskers? It makes whiskers when you do this hand shape. So cat. Ooh, you guys have sharp eyes. Is there a squirrel in there? I guess I will have to actually put my glasses on to see that, but I'll take your word for it. Okay. That's a bad picture. It's a copy of a copy of a copy, as you can tell. Bend your V hand shapes, and you know how they make. You don't have to do the sound effects if you're signing with a deaf person. It really does not matter, obviously. But I add them to help you remember. This is squirrels, right? They had that little... Are there birds in there? Bird. This is your beak. Bird. Now, if it's a duck, why? Their bill is bigger. Yeah, it's wider. It's just a two-finger. Yeah. Duck. But bird for most of them. All right, I think we may have covered everything we need to play the game. Let's see. There's a house, and there's a banana, and there's, cans and bats and other stuff. But let's do the house and the banana, and then we're going to play. Okay. Oh, no, we have to learn something else before we play. Okay. House. Roof and walls, okay? Now, we use the B hand shape. In American Sign Language, there are a lot of things that aren't exactly a sign. That's called a classifier hand shape. This is a classifier hand shape for something flat and narrow, like a wall. We have a floor, we have a ceiling, we have walls. Okay? So anything that's kind of flat and thin. It's not thick. It's a wall, or here's our house and our walls. So we're drawing a house, in essence, with our classifier hand shape. Okay, house. And then banana. Take your passive hand, there's the banana, and your dominant hand is going to, except you would do yours the other way, yes. You're going to peel the banana. All right. So now to play the game, we need to know colors. So look around the room. Somebody give me a color. Yellow. Okay. I'm going to teach 4 colors now then. Get your Y. And I'm sorry, we often teach the alphabet first, but that can be kind of a boring way to start. You have your alphabet in front of you. If you're at home, you can easily look up a sign language, American Sign Language alphabet online. Be sure not to look up the British Sign Language alphabet because it is two-handed. They do A, E, I, O, U, D, B, K. So, but in America, we like to talk and do stuff at the same time. So we're going to use a one-handed alphabet. All right? So your Y, and you see how this is a Y made out of your whole hand. And we're going to just shake the yellow paint off it. We're going to like flick our wrist. All right? And that's yellow. Yellow. Okay? Now, in that same vein, if you take G, green. A G is your 2 fingers kind of flat on the top. This is the letter G if you were just spelling. Okay, G. Somebody told me, G for gun because it kind of points, or G for a grasshopper because a grasshopper's that big. So whatever helps you to remember it, you take your G and you shake the green paint off your paintbrush. Okay, G. Green. And then you have, good guess, it is the letter P, but it's purple. Purple. We're going to shake the purple paint off. The letter P, you want to start out with your V hand shape. Put your thumb on the middle knuckle of your middle finger. This is now a K. This is the letter K. See how it looks about as much like a K as you can get one hand to look like? You're going to put that thumb on that middle knuckle. Good, that looks good. Looks good, okay? But for the letter P, we make the same shape, but with our wrist down. You don't flop it down, you just make it down. And this is the letter P. Okay, so we're going to shake purple paint off our brush. Purple, purple. And one more is made like this. Blue. This is the letter B. Blue. I always think of B for brushing a bee away from my face. Again, I have silly mnemonic devices. Blue, blue. So now we have yellow, green, G for green, purple, purple, and blue. And blue. Okay, now another color. Those 4 are all made this same shake the paint off way. That's my terminology. Pink, since you mentioned pink. Well, you've got your letter P, so that's good. Run it down your pink lips. Middle finger touches your pink lips. Okay, pink, pink. Okay. You want these other fingers to be back and out of the way because it gets hard to read otherwise. Yeah. We can sign a lot easier than we can read other people signing because we know what we're saying, right? They may not know what we're saying, but we know what we're saying. But watching people sign, their hands are different. It's like every individual person's accent in their voice. But for most hearing people, they've listened to voices their whole entire life. So we know how to process all the variety of voices. But when you start to learn sign for the first time, different hands can really make it a challenge to understand. Some people sign really fast. Some people sign really relaxed. So there's a variety of accents, if you will, for signing. All right, so we've got pink. What else? Orange. Okay, we're going to squeeze an orange right up here by where we would eat it. Okay, orange. This is also the sign for the fruit, orange. Okay, orange, orange. And what's kind of like pink? Red. We're going to do our one finger, hold down all your others, and do red. Trace your red lips. Red, red. Red and pink. So, all right, quick quiz. We have yellow with the Y. Yellow. Is this here? You don't want to hook 'em horns. It's the thumb. Everybody struggles with this. Yeah, everybody wants to hook some horns. Yeah, all right. Yellow, yellow. Blue. B, blue. Your B, blue. Green. Your G, green. Purple, thank you. Purple. Purple with your letter P. And then we have red. And pink. We have pink. Just like you've made your purple, you bring it up here and do pink. Pink. Mm-hmm. You'll see a variety. I've even heard people say you could do like a light blue up and a dark blue down, but I don't know how much people really do that. It will vary sometimes. Usually it's a couple. Yeah. But if I was saying, what do I mean? Yeah, like your shirt. Very blue. Dark blue. What's very blue? So it can vary depending on really good question. All right, so what colors have we missed? We did orange, that's right. What colors have we not yet learned? White, black, they're basic neutral kind of colors we've missed. So white, put your 5 hand on your chest and close it like you're pulling a fluffy white ruffle off one of those fancy old-fashioned shirts. Okay. I always think of pulling your white ruffle off your cravat, or whatever. Okay, pull your white ruffle. Okay, white. Black, your one hand shape. Okay, it's going to trace across your dark black eyebrows. Okay, trace it across your dark black eyebrows. Now, here's where it can get tricky with sign. Just as English has words that are very, very similar, or indeed exactly the same, but with different meanings, we have black with a straight finger, straight pointer finger. Black. Now, if you bend it, you're wiping the sweat off your brow in summer. This is summer. Summer. Black. And because. So this one, I take my L hand shape, face it back toward me, and go up at the end into an A, because. So black, summer, and because. Isn't that fun? I find all this language stuff kind of fun. But then I'm a nerd. I'm a nerd. You take your N and you push your glasses up. I'm a nerd. Okay. All right. So we have white, we have black, brown. You see the letter B traced down your brown face. Now, I have seen with older deaf senior citizens, I saw brown. So language evolves. Younger deaf, brown. Brown. In fact, it's really interesting. Here's this, I keep hopping all over. I hope you're having fun with it and that I'm not just losing you. What is this the sign for? Telephone, right? Phone, okay? And I'm starting to see myself wanting to do this now. Phone. Because they don't have a this and a this anymore, do they? Phones. So sometimes I'll do phone. But I was chatting with an elderly deaf woman many years ago, and this is the only time in my life I've seen this. And we were chatting about planning the children's Christmas party and whatever. And I said, okay, well, we'll need to talk later. And she said, what did she mean? I'll call you. And I went, and then I went, oh. So once in a while, you'll see some variations out there. I'll call you. Came. I'd never seen her sign it that way any other time. But that time, she said, I'll call you. All right, so I think we've got all the colors we need to play our game. If you have yes. Review those? Yes. Yes, good idea. Let's review everything on this page super quick. We have from left to right, we have a lion. Thank you, guys. Bye. We have, although very odd dog, a dog. Snoopy is his own being. We have grandpa. We have fish. We have our elephant. We have a tree. We have house. We have father, mother. I'm going to come down the right-hand side of the page now. Cat. And you'll see this signed one-handed a lot of times. Again, you're busy with your other hand. Cat. Okay, cat. We have daughter, girl baby, son. We have, in the middle there, an alligator with teeth. We have a banana. And we have a monkey. And your colors one last time. We have white, black, brown. Ooh, I forgot. Gray. It's like you got some white, you got some black, where you mix them together is gray in the middle. Okay, gray. We have yellow, blue, green, purple, red, pink, orange. Is that everything? I think that's everything we did. All right, ready to play? If I had a bazillion colors, I would have put them out, but since I don't, you're going to have to take a writing implement there and just write the color I tell you. If I tell you color the elephant orange, okay, then just write orange on the elephant. Unless you happen to have orange in front of you somehow. All right. I was going to say maybe I should put my glasses on so I know what I said I was going to color these. All right. This is the sign for color. It's like a rainbow, every different color. Color. Or color for the verb. Okay, like color. Color. I'll do them all twice. Again. Ready? Color. Color. What? Again. Ready? 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 Again. And I think this is my last one. Again. I didn't put a color on the house, you're right. I can. Let's see. Ready? Again. All right. Let's see how we did. I have the lion black. You can check yourself. Give yourself stars. I'll try to go left to right. I have the dog, gray. I didn't color Grandpa or the fish. I have the elephant, orange. Yeah, everybody say them with me, or sign them with me too. I have the tree, brown. I have the house, white. I have Dad, purple. I have Mom, blue. I have the cat, red. I have the daughter, pink. I have the alligator, yellow. I have the sun is green. And I have the white, the monkey white. Lots of stars? Say, yay, clap for yourself. Here is deaf applause. This is not heard, but this is very visual. So when you applaud for a deaf person, you want to do it this way. Okay. Yay! Questions. I have thrown lots of random stuff at you. I tried to make this more about the fun today and piquing your curiosity. We do have classes. I work at the center, and we are a nonprofit United Way agency, and we do offer non-credit classes 3 times a year. I hire teachers to lead those courses. They are scheduled to start, some of them next week. There are flyers there about that. They're very affordable, and you get that face-to-face feedback on whether you're doing it right. That is difficult to get when you're using online sources. But there are many online sources too, and I have a handout that is not mine, but I found one that says top 10 sites. I don't know. I learned my sign before they were online, but there's that list there to help you. What questions and what do you need to know? What's on your little cards for me? I'm sorry? Car, like driving a car? I'm checking my time real quick. Car. Where it can make sense, it does. You'll see car. Sometimes you'll see like a bus or a bus. It's only 3 letters to spell car, car. We have what are called loan signs in ASL, where the spelling of the word almost becomes a sign. This shape, bus, bus, becomes the sign. Or car, or job, job. This shape becomes the loan sign in essence. Thinking of ice, ice, yeah. Very good question. How do you conjugate? So tenses, past, present, future. If I say, I go store. For one thing, ASL doesn't need to the because it's often built into the sign. I go, obviously it's going to the store. Those words don't have visual meaning, so they're not needed in a visual language. So I go store. But if I'm watching somebody sign and I'm voicing for them as an interpreter, I don't say, I go store. That makes them sound like they're not very educated. They are. This is perfect ASL, okay? So I would voice, I go to the store, okay? But if I say, finish, what tense am I in now? Past. Finish. This happened before. Finish. Finish me. So now how would I voice that in English? I went to the store, right. And as the interpreter, I will always say, I, that person is talking. I don't say, well, he says, it's like, well, I went to the store. Okay. So if I sign, will, future. Anything out in front of you is the future. Anything behind you is past. Where your body is right now is the present. Okay. Present. Now. Really good question. What questions does this table have? Spell. Spell. If we lived in an environment where there's a lot of those, we might have different signs for an alligator and a crocodile, but there's just not a whole lot of them on the streets of Tulsa, so we don't really have different signs for them here. In fact, there's some things like a jaguar or a cheetah or whatever. You're going to have to spell big cat with spots. I mean, you can describe it, but it's not part of our everyday life here, whereas in Africa, they might very well have specific signs for those animals because they are part of their everyday life. So that's a very good. We have to spell things that don't have a specific sign. If you want that English word, then you may have to spell that, or you act out what the thing is as part of the story. As I said, the pronouns are often pointing. If I said this was my daughter, remember, then every time I point there, she said. If it's a flat hand, her book. Her book. Possessive hand, my, her. Okay, pointing is a personal pronoun. She, I, or me. Same concept, so this is I or me. You. If I'm talking to you, he or, they over here. I say if you're an Okie, you can go, y'all are having a good day. and just gesture with placement and pointing makes the pronouns. Us, we start from, I'm right-handed, so I start from my right shoulder with my pointer finger, and I include all of the other people in the room and come back to me. Us. Us. If you're left-handed, you're starting over here. Us. Mm-hmm. Good question. You guys have deep questions. Okay, no pressure, table. Give me an easy one. The sign for learn. Very good. Here's your book or your paper. Here's your 5 hand. you're going to, again, you'll have to excuse my sound effects. They're the way I remember. You're going to slurp that learning right off that page, all right? You go, don't do that when you're signing. Okay, people will be like, who taught you that? Okay, learn. So you're taking it from the page and you cement it, you close it into your brain. Okay, learn. So I want, anything you want is out in front of you, you want to grab it, right? You just bend your fingers. I want to learn. Sign. Your one hand's sign. Comes back at you. Sign. It's kind of diagonal. Finish me, learn, sign. I've already learned. Sign. I got this. I've learned. Sign. Okay. This table have a question? Coffee's on the page, and that's probably the most important word for some of you. For me, it's my Diet Coke, which comes from when Coke had cocaine in it or something. I don't know. Yeah, all right. Coffee. Because? You're grinding the beans, the grinder. Okay. So my dominant hand is on top, and I'm grinding the beans. Okay. Left-handers, grind those beans. Okay. This table did I already ask you if you had a question? Teach? No, I did not. So if you are, by the way, if you are a learn person, you are a student. That's English for a learn person is a student. And if you are a teach, I have information that I'm going to send and close into your brain. Comes out of my head into yours. So I am teaching. Teacher. I'm a teach person, a teacher. Okay. Good question. Thank you. Here's how you say thank you. Thank you. It's like blowing a kiss. It's directional. Some signs are directional, so I can say thank you. Not them, just you. Okay. Or I can say thank y'all and include everyone. So some of the signs are directional. Like I'm going to go there, only I'm not directional. I have no idea which way is east and west, so I might go, I'm going there, but really I mean I'm going over there. You know? Question at this table? No questions? Did you have anything written on your cards that you had hoped you would learn before you left today? Yes. Your head? Yes. Unfortunately, I tell people, this is not no, sorry, that would be way too easy. No, it comes from N-O. N-O. We just take our N and we make an O out of it. And we say no. Now again, here's where facial expression and body language are very important. If I'm saying to you, you ask me, am I purple? No, I'm not. But if you're that child over there saying, can I have candy, please? You know this is how they say it, right? Okay. Everybody try that. Say please like when you were a kid. Please. Okay. All right. And then I'm going to go, no. Okay. So it's all in the face and in the body language is the grammar of ASL. And it's been documented that it's its own separate language. It's not English made visual. It's its own separate language with its own rules and structure. And a lot of those rules are in your face and in your body. The body shifting we talked about, the eye gaze up or down, the expression you put on your face. English, I once heard someone say, is broad. We have lots of words. We're happy. What else means happy? We're ecstatic. We're overjoyed. We're thrilled. We got lots of words that mean slightly different things, right? ASL, that concept, happy. Everybody try that. You're up. You're brushing up off your shoulder blades because you are up and happy, right? I'm happy. is the same sign. But if you are overjoyed, show me that. I am overjoyed. If I say, I'm so happy to be here, it's Monday, show me that. Okay, so English has many words to show those differences. ASL is deep. You have the sign, but it's all in how you shade it and all in the facial and body language that you add to it. So cool, 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 fascinating. I love the sign for fascinating. It is going to pull me in, pulls me in. It's just fascinating. I brought lots of handouts. We have sign language classes. We have silent dinners, so they are called. They're not very silent, where people who know any amount of sign language or who are curious are welcome to come. They're usually at the mall food court. You just come out, sit on the edge. You can come up and sign, hi. And lots of students come to this. Deaf individuals also come to this. So if you know someone who's deaf or hard of hearing and wants to meet other folks, this is a good place to do it. We'll be doing our deaf and hard of hearing summer camp for kids a week in July. We have a scholarship for hard of hearing and deaf students right now, and we have a special monthly group for folks who've lost hearing later in life. And I've got one more on this sheet that's coming up. So feel free to stay and ask questions. We are a nonprofit United Way agency, which means that they live and die on statistics and demographics. So if you would please fill out this form for me before you leave, it will help us continue to receive our funding that makes it possible to serve people the way we do. Are there two there? Okay, good deal. And I am happy to answer any questions now or after everybody else leaves. Just let me know what you might want to know. Diana. I'm Diana. You are very welcome. Oh, that's right. Deaf applause. Deaf applause. Right? Even though it's behind my back at the moment.
Okay. So, thank you so much, Diana, and the Center for Individuals with Physical Challenges, shortened as the Center. And thank you for being here, those watching at home. Next week, we also have workshops starting at 10 o'clock. And you can find us on Facebook, the Center for Creativity at TCC. So thank you so much.
What are your next two?
That's a great question. What's next week?
What's next week?
I can't make a stamp. And I can't improv. So the stamping is with Living Arts, I believe. Is that with Living Arts? Okay. And then improv is going to be with Theater Tulsa. So it's going to be lots of fun, very interactive. So have a great Saturday.